a young girl. My mum convinced me she was about 9, but I'm sure she was about 10. And I kid you not, she was bleaching her skin. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Unapologetically rocks in the house. My name's actually Roxanne, but sorry, I'm not sorry. So I've got a little story to tell you. I don't know if this will be called Chit Chat with Rox. It was going to be Rox's rants, but I've decided against that. So I think I'm going to go with I just wanted to talk about this. So basically, the other day, my little one was sick. My youngest son was unwell, so I took him to A&E, and I was in A&E and just sitting around waiting, and I saw a young girl. My mum convinced me she was about 9, but I'm sure she was about 10. And I kid you not, she was bleaching her skin. Her skin was bleached. Her mum was bleaching her skin, but her skin was bleached. And it got me thinking, like, because I was literally in shock. My mum had said to me, oh, the little girl's bleaching her skin. And I said, no, mum. And I looked good, yeah. And she had the telltale signs of bleaching. So, like, her skin was really, like, red. And her, like, fingers and knuckles were dark and stuff. And it's not even a judgment thing, but I just was in awe. And I thought to myself, like, I felt really sad. And it just got me thinking about how I felt growing up being darker skin, should I say, and the whole dark skin, light skin like divide and debate, which I think is a pile of shit, to be honest. But I know that some of it is intrinsically in you. So it's just realistic. It's all the kind of things when you were growing up where the boys like the lighter skinned girls and maybe the girls like the lighter skinned boys and so forth. And it just got me thinking about my insecurities and the things I think about myself. I genuinely am falling more in love with the person that I am, which was one of the reasons why I started the journey, because it was just about not being arrogant but being confident, and there's a difference. And all the issues I had growing up, like being a certain kind of way, looking a certain kind of way, and thinking you're not going to take that from me now that I love who I am and I'm okay with that. But it just really saddened me, and I thought to myself, like, oh, I had a real issue with being dark skinned when I was younger. Like, that's just me being real. I had a real issue with feeling unattractive. I didn't like my nose. I didn't like my skin color. I didn't like, and I'm talking about super young. So it was just like the school playground when you played kiss chase and they went after the lighter skin girls instead of going after the darker skin girl, and just all of that kind of stuff. And my children are relatively, like, even though their dad's dark and I'm dark, they're like a brown in colour, but I still obviously call them black. And my youngest is very fair, considering, and gets called red skin a lot. And the whole red skin thing, I mean, people take it quite offensively, but it has been used as a term of endearment. Like, it was kind of like, oh, he's red, as in, like, oh, that makes him a certain kind of way. And it really, like, I've never at any stage thought I want to bleach my skin. Never. There's never been a point where I thought, okay, I'd like my skin to be lighter. Even, I mean, I may have thought I would like to be lighter skinned, but I've never thought, let me go and purchase cream and bleach my skin. Now, I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm not trying to get anyone's back up. But it just really saddened me that a girl of that age basically doesn't like who she is, or is following suit, is following her mother in thinking that being of a lighter hue is a better, I don't know what it is, because I thought about it in the simple terms, in the sense of when you're lighter skinned, like, the boys will like you. But I've never thought about it in the grandioso terms. And now with things changing around, where you have a lot of darker skinned women in the public eye, you've got the Lupita Nyong'os, you've got the, I'm trying to think of who, you've got the Gabrielle Unions, you've got the Angela Bassett's. I mean, all of these people are darker, like, of darker skin. It kind of, like, has it become a fad to be darker skinned? But I genuinely think that we should be seen as one race. So if you're black, you're black. But I'm not going to lie and be like, okay, I haven't ever thought, oh, that person's light skin or that person's brown skin, or called someone a brownie, or called someone like fair skin or red skin. So like, how deep is it within me? And then just with the insecurities that come with that, feeling like you're not good enough or feeling like you're not pretty enough. I know that like my hair right now under my crochet braids is natural, and I haven't relaxed my hair for a while just due to having children, and it just messes like your hormones up and you lose hair and all kinds of stuff. But just even with the relaxer thing, I mean, like I'm learning to love my natural hair. Still, I struggle with wanting it to look a certain kind of way, and I don't know what it is. Is it is it people's perceptions of me? Is it that someone's gonna think I'm not as pretty with my hair a certain kind of way? Is it that I don't want to follow suit, or I do want to follow suit? And it's thinking about all these things, but it just really made me kind of like check how we view ourselves and what, I mean, I had a conversation with my friend the other day, and I was just like, what makes someone pretty? Like, when you look at another person, because obviously I've walked down the road and looked at females and thought, oh, they're pretty. And we will train, I think, and we saw a girl and she was fairly fair skinned, like cute curly hair and stuff, and my friend was like, she's pretty. And I thought, I didn't necessarily think, is there a difference between being pretty and beautiful? Are you more pretty if you're light skinned? Are you like, I've been called attractive. Now I don't mind being called attractive. Do I want to be called beautiful? And do I think, I mean, I've asked the question before, am I pretty and attractive, or I think you're beautiful? And then I'm like, is that a diss? Like, are you trying to disrespect me? Like, you trying to say I'm not fine because I'm fine? Do you get what I mean? And it's to I make light of the situation, but it has impacted me in growing up. And it's only now I'm just becoming kind of accepting of, this is my color, this is my skin color. Just because my hair is in crochet braids and it's blonde doesn't mean I don't love my natural hair. Just because I wear weaves doesn't mean I don't like natural hair. Just because I wear makeup doesn't mean I don't like my skin tone. Like, is it just people's perceptions that make you feel like because you're of a certain skin tone that you look a certain kind of way or are a certain kind of way? And so, yeah, it just kind of, we should be accepting of all shades of our race, like all shades of black. All black, you are black, and that's it. And I mean, I even get these conversations with my oldest where he's like, mummy, I'm brown. And I'm like, yes, technically you are brown. And people take being black, so saying that someone is black, negatively. And I'm like, if you call me brown, I'm like, I'm not brown, I'm black. Like, I know my skin color is brown, but brown isn't a race. Black is a race. And so I'm from the black race, or yeah, I'm from the black race. That's it. I had to question myself there because I'm like, I know I'm going to get loads of people in the comments. But yeah, so, and also with me having children, I've kind of had to address how I look at myself, how I talk about other people, other races, other colors, like, because whatever I'm thinking or feeling or I'm putting out there, I'm then instilling into my children. And it's one of the reasons, like, with my insecurities, I didn't like my nose at one stage. And so I thought about getting a nose job. And like, I know people like, I know people are like, no, like I've had like real life like beefs with people about, no, you can't do that and stuff. And it's like, okay. But having my daughter, I then turn around, I mean, she very much looks like me. She's more beautiful, but she very much looks like me. And one of the reasons why I then decided against not ever doing that, not ever kind of changing that aspect of myself, is because how would I then explain to her that she's beautiful when she's looking at a mirror reflection of herself, but I went and changed my nose? And having children makes you a bit more selfless. So you kind of take yourself and your feelings out of the equation, because you know that when you're passed away and gone, you're leaving them with a certain kind of mindset and you want them to be the best that they can be. So the nose job was out because it was just like, okay, I tell her every day she's beautiful. And as she grows up, I'll tell her every day that she's beautiful. But then how am I going to then say, oh, I don't like my flat nose, or I don't like my broad nose, as they say, and I'm changing it, but you must keep your nose shape because it's beautiful. So then I decided against it. Now, I'm not against surgery, because ultimately, I will show you in another video all of my insecurities, but I would like a tummy tuck. And having 3 kids, like the overhang, all of that stuff, C-section, all of that stuff has messed my body up. And I know you can work out, but I had extra water with my last two, and the loose skin is like crazy, and so that's not gonna go. So I can work out and I can lose weight and I can tone up to the best of my capability, but ultimately I'm gonna need some kind of surgery. Now I know that I will be loved regardless, because that's not who I am, but it's not for anyone else, it's for me. And there are other obviously little insecurities that I have that I think, oh, I'd like to change, but they're for me. But with the race thing, I just think there's like the whole bleaching thing scares the life. I'm just like, I see people walking, and I'm talking about men, women, looking super like sore. Like you look sore and your face is red raw. Like you look like you literally have poured caustics. I just envisage like pot scraping. Like when you scour a pot, because the way their face looks is that sore, and I think they're going through that for what? So is it, I don't know, is it that you feel that you will be better, look better if your skin's lighter? Because my thing is, we're all perfectly made. We are all uniquely, beautifully, perfectly made. Every feature, every dimple, every dent. And obviously life situations change that. You fall over, you get, I've got a scar here from jumping off a swing when I was 14 and it busted my mouth open, and like it sometimes like looks like a proper bump. That's not part of me, how I was made, but obviously that's something that's happened and I can't change that. But the way you are is like your features fit perfectly on your face, and I know that there are insecurities and I know there are things that literally make people really down. Like I'm talking about breaking down, and they want to change that. But I also think to myself, you are beautiful and perfectly made, and so your eyes are set where they are because that's where they look the best, and your nose is set the way it is because that's where it looks the best. Your lips are the way they are because that's where it looks the best. You are the color you are because that's what you're meant to be. And it just saddens me that people feel like, if this is why they do it, and this is me being hypothetical, that by being a lighter skin tone that they're going to be more widely accepted, especially in a day and age where we are still going through, I mean, we are seeing the re-emergence of racism and negative connotations in regards to our cultures and things like that. I looked at this little girl and I thought, I just want to empower you to kind of understand that you are beautiful as you are, and there is no need. And it just kind of, if I'm honest, upset me a bit that like as a parent you're okay with that. Like there are things that my daughter, my son are going to want to do that I'm not going to be okay with, but there are things that my son and my daughter are going to question. I'm going to empower them to believe you are beautiful just as you are. And I just want to say, like, to anyone kind of like dealing with that kind of stuff, I mean, I still have the daily struggle. I'm gonna be 37 this year and I struggle with like even that. Like I still feel 21, yo. So approaching, like knocking on the door of 40 is like, what the hell? But I just kind of want to say that like I understand and that feeling of not being enough, and I understand that feeling of feeling inadequate, and I understand that being or looking a certain kind of way doesn't always fit with what you think and feel. Like, yeah, I should be looking at Beyonce out here, or a Gabrielle Union, or a Taraji P. Henson. Like, I get it. We have all these kind of bars that we try and measure ourselves up to, but I think the one bar that we should start measuring ourselves up to is ourselves, and start looking at ourselves as like not just this shell, not just the external, because ultimately we're going to grow older and those kind of things fade. And I'm not saying don't wear your makeup and look beautiful, because like I love me a piece of makeup, but don't be afraid to go out without it. Like I used to be afraid to go out without my makeup, and then I thought, fuck it, like this is me. Like the makeup should enhance who I am, and it's not just about what's going on here. And we live in an age of superficialness and surfaceness, but once that's stripped away, what's going on in here? And that's what you need to think about, because ultimately, as I will keep saying, you are uniquely and beautifully made, and don't ever change that. So if you yeah, like, don't ever change that. So thank you for listening to me today again, and as I always say, stay unapologetically you. If you like what I talk about, if you like me, if you want to be part of my sorry not sorry crew, then just subscribe to the channel, and yeah, stay authentic, people.